Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome and thank you for coming to our service tonight. And we would like to warm up with a couple of songs, and I was thinking we would start with a song called Hapores Sukkot Shalom, which you'll find the words to if you need them, on page 664. Baruch Ata Adonai Hapores Sukkot Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai Hapores Sukkot Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. V'al Yerushalayim v'al kol amo. V'al Yerushalayim Shalom. V'al Yerushalayim v'al kol amo. V'al Yerushalayim Shalom. Baruch Ata Adonai Hapores Sukkot Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. All right. I wouldn't have minded if you had used your shakers a little bit on that, very tastefully, like brushes on the snare drum or something.
You're going to make us do it again?
But yeah, let's do it again so we can hear the shaker. No, we'll do a song now that you can really use your shakers on. We'll do a contemporary version of Shalom Aleichem, and that's on page 627 if you need it. Sheldon Lowe wrote this version, and it's something that you can shake along to. Use your tambourine. You have some. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharim Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharim Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Shari Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashari Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashari Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashari Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right. Are you ready? Or one more song? You're not ready. Very good. Okay. It's going to be music.
At least one more song.
Music night tonight. Very good. Let's sing Romamu. And the words of that are somewhere in various pages within the book, not so much at the end. I think 427 maybe might be one.
105, 367, and 497.
497.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Ben.
Very impressive.
That was quick, too. That was very good.
Wow.
And index.
No, I know, but yeah. Which I looked in and then I forgot which page it was.
We were close though, that's impressive.
Thanks. More for your shakers. Please join me in singing as well. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. V'ishtachavu v'har kodsho. V'ishtachavu v'har kodsho.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So, I'd like to welcome people out there to Temple Shalom Emeth in Burlington, Massachusetts. I'm Rabbi Susan Abramson, joined by my esteemed colleague Ben Silver, our Cantorial Soloist, and our other esteemed colleague Ben Einsidler, who's going to be giving the sermon this evening. So looking forward to hearing that a little bit later. So we're going to begin our service with the lighting of the Shabbat candles on page 120 and 121. I'd like to invite Ellen Finkelman to come on up, light the candles for us this evening in honor of her sponsoring the Oneg Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Sher Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, 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 amen.
'Amen. 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 'A
And now that we've lit the lights of Shabbat, we're going to continue by welcoming the Shabbat bride with the singing of L'cha Dodi, which you may find on page 138. Get your shakers ready.
L'cha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת ולעילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Last verse. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, תוך אמונה, גם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. פני שבת נקבלה.
And that concludes the first section of our service, the Kabbalat Shabbat, or welcoming of the Sabbath. We're now going to continue with the second section called the Shema Uvirchoteha, the Shema and its blessings, which you may find on page 146. With the Baruch Hu, our call to worship, please rise in body or spirit. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach. Leolam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim Bechokma Poteach She'arim Uvitvuna Mishane Itim Umachalif et Hazmanim Umsader et HaKochavim B'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono Borei Yom V'Laila Golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, uma'avdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadita Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu ufkumenu nasiach b'chukechem v'nismach b'divrei toratecha v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla nege yomam v'layla V'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael ohev amo Yisrael
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Continue on pages 152 and 153 with the Shema, the watchword of our Jewish faith. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Please join me on page 154 for the chanting of the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem Emeth. Now we're going to continue on page 158 with the singing of Micha Mocha, the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip. Get your shakers ready.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, וכי הים לפני משה ומרים. ואלי ענו ויאמרו, ואלי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise to you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Now continue with the Hashkivenu prayer on page 160, asking God to create a shelter of peace over us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu chomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu chomreinu l'chayim. Ushmor tzeteinu לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. page 162, we continue with Vishamru. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, אוהי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And now we continue the next section of our service called the Tefillah, which means the prayer. On page 164, please rise in body or spirit.
Ananananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Anananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Anananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Anananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Anananananana Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol ve'Bor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממי ומקיים ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה החיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We now continue with Shalom Rav, the singing of a song for peace on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon v'chol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We read together at the top of 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Now continue on page 371 with the Misha Berach Get Well prayer. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. This evening we think in particular of Michael Nussbaum. We also think of Judy Wasserman. And at this time, if there are names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, we prepare to recite the Get Well prayer. You may say their names aloud as I look across the room. This evening, in honor of Veterans Day, I also wanted to think of all of those veterans who served our country who are still suffering either physical or emotional wounds. We also think of all of those who are suffering from the war in Ukraine and in other conflicts around the world, and of course of COVID. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misher berach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And now, in addition to thinking about those who need our support, we also think about all of the ways in which we are grateful to God and just in our lives, because on Shabbat we're supposed to think not about our problems, but what all of our blessings are. And so this is on Shabbat we're supposed to really focus on everything that we're grateful for, and it's a unique opportunity for us to let go of all the cares and worries in our lives. And so we all have the opportunity right now to say something that we're grateful for. And so anybody want to just shout out something that they're particularly grateful for in their life right this week? Okay, well, I'll be grateful for Ben, who completed the New York City Marathon last weekend. And he finished the whole thing, and he said it was one of the highlights of his life. So
I'm grateful to the people of the city of New York for all their support.
All right.
That's fantastic.
Who else?
Well, I'm grateful we were able to have a family dinner, which is a rare occurrence. We had the girls over and Tom and my mother-in-law. That was a nice high point of the week.
Excellent. So Dan is grateful that they were able to have a family dinner, which is not so usual anymore for anybody. That's great. Anybody else?
Grateful for last weekend's visit home from my son at his first semester at college, and turns out he likes to come home every now and then for a weekend, and we like that too.
Great. All right. So for all of those reasons and many, many more, we continue with the Shehachianu prayer.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. And now we continue with the singing of Osei Shalom, another song for peace on page 180.
Shakers allowed. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, uya, say shalom, aleinu, bi'al kol Yisrael, bimru, bimru, amen. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, uya, say shalom, aleinu, bi'akol Yisrael, bimru, bimru, amen. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, uya, say shalom, aleinu, bi'akol Yisrael, bimru, bimru, amen. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, uya, say shalom, aleinu, bi'akol Yisrael, bimru, bimru, amen.
And it is now my pleasure to invite up our rabbinic intern, Ben Einsidler, who is going to speak to us this evening about something I don't know what. So, but I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
puppies.
It could be puppies.
It's not.
That's right.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Elections, I'm not getting political, but elections offer an opportunity to speak truth to power. We're fortunate enough to live in a country where the right to vote is sacrosanct, despite the feelings of some who would prevent others from rightfully exercising that right. Voting is an opportunity to make our voices heard, and while the nature of democracy is that not everyone gets what they want, the opportunity to have a say truly matters. In Parshat Vayera this week, which we read, there's an incredible encounter between God and Abraham, in which Abraham, through speaking truth to power, affects events that would otherwise be beyond his control. In Genesis chapter 18, God is, yet again for a change, disturbed by human behavior. If you remember, we have that whole business of the flood. We'll try again. We don't have a good track record so far. But God says, the outrage of Sodom and in Hebrew, Amorah, but Gomorrah in English, the outrage of Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin is so grave. I will go down to see whether they have acted altogether according to their outcry that has reached me. If not, I will take note. Abraham, who is seeing guests off from his tent, asks God a blunt question upon hearing this. Abraham says, will you sweep away the innocent along with the guilty? What if there should be 50 innocent people within the city? Will you then wipe out the place and not forgive it for the sake of the innocent 50 who are in it? Far be it from you. Abraham uses these words. It's incredible. Far be it from you to do such a thing. Shall not the judge of the earth judge justly? Abraham's interrogation seems arresting, even if the soothing, far be it from you. Not that God needs to be soothed necessarily. But God in turn replies, if I find within the city of Sodom 50 innocent ones, I will forgive the whole place for their sake. Abraham, there's a back and forth. Abraham bargains God down to 10 people. If there are 10 righteous people in the whole city of Sodom, God will spare the city. Alas, the city is not spared. The city is completely evil. but it's not for the lack of advocacy on Abraham's part. Although God's original plan is fulfilled, the terms are changed. And Abraham really has a point. The Hebrew reads, Hashofet kol haaretz lo ya'aseh mishpat. Shall not the judge of the earth judge justly? Are we really going to generalize a whole group of people when the supreme judge can easily discern individual behaviors and motivations? This is one of the seminal questions of the Torah. One can read the Torah as a series of questions that are in turn answered by the events that follow them. After Cain kills his brother Abel in chapter 4 of Genesis, just a few weeks ago, Abel's immortal question is, Hashomer achi anochi, am I my brother's keeper? The subsequent events of the flood and the generations afterward can be seen as an answer to that very question. So too here, with Abraham's arresting question, do we begin to see if the God who created heaven and earth will judge justly, and not according to mere whim. This question, according to one interpretation, is subsequently answered with the Akedah and the events thereafter. Far be it from me, to paraphrase Abraham, to make meaning here of those events, but Abraham's example shows us that we do have the power to respond to events as they happen around us, if not the events themselves. That autonomy is a great part of what it means to be human, whether we exercise it in the voting booth or amongst others. Let's not lose sight of the fact that justice itself is among the noblest of goals, as the Torah later teaches, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice shall you pursue. Shabbat Shalom.
Excellent, Ben. That was awesome and gave us a lot to think about. And while you were speaking about that, about the voting and just pursuing justice, I was thinking about another Shehachianu moment this week, which was our elections, and that our democracy is intact, and that our country is still existing the way it always has been, and that our votes count and our votes our systems work. So that's something to have a huge Shehachianu moment about. But thank you very much. That was awesome. And now we're going to continue our service with the Elenu on page 586. With the Elenu, Mindy, would you like to open the Ark curtain? Please rise in body or spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
Please turn to page 588. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומיים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת, אין עוד. Page 591. Please join in the singing of a contemporary version of Bayom Hahu, V'ne'emar and Bayom Hahu. V'ne'emar v'hayom Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, Bayom Hahu יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד.
The introduction to the Kaddish prayer for those who have died is on page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recall Carol Finkel, Hazel Reinholm, and Rebecca Holmes, who died during this past month. We add to their names the names of those whose yahrzeits or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week: Lena Cohen, Edith Jacobs. On this Veterans Day weekend, we think of all of those who gave their lives in service to our country. And we also remember those who've died of COVID, and we also remember those who've lost their lives in the unnecessary conflict in Ukraine. And at this time, if there are names of others who you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, we prepare to recite the Kaddish. You may say their names aloud as I look across the room. Zichron al-Livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We rise in body or spirit to recite the Kaddish prayer on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, B'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach l'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to our country, to Ukraine, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together, Amen. Please be seated. Now I'd like to call on Mindy Stanley, our perpetual announcement giver, for the announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There are so many things coming up. I had to write a little cheat sheet. Not necessarily in order here, though I'll try to keep it in order. The Brotherhood is going to be getting together soon, November 13th, for a luncheon. Please to get together or contact Michael Singer or Rick Levin for that for more information. There is going to be our ping pong group getting together again, November 16th at Michael Finkel's house. There will be on November 19th, not one but two events. Please come one, come all to the temple on the morning of November 19th for a wonderful Tot Shabbat. And I was thinking about it, and it has been about 26 years since I started here. And one of the things that brought me into the temple was the Tot Shabbat program. I still have wonderful memories, so I hope people here, especially who have young children, can make memories of their own. So please be here November 19th, that morning, I believe 10:30. And then that evening, for the older crowd, there will be a Havdalah game night. And then jumping into the Thanksgiving week, on the 21st, November 21st, 7 o'clock at St. Mark's, there'll be a interfaith Thanksgiving service. Hope everyone can be there. December 3rd, the rabbi will mention more about this. I believe it's your nephew. On December 3rd, the rabbi's nephew will be putting on an amazing science and magic combined act here at the temple. December 3rd will also be a fundraiser for the temple. And then December 5th, our book club will be meeting. So, like I mentioned, a very busy time. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you again to Ben for that amazing Devar Torah. And great to have you here. Those of you who might be watching from a distance, it's pouring out here. So we've got the double whammy of Veterans Day weekend and people being away, and it's raining forever and ever, it seems like. So as Mindy mentioned, there's a lot coming up, and I hope you'll join us for all of that. And just to elaborate on my nephew a little bit, so my nephew, as good Jewish boys do, graduated from Columbia School of Engineering and has now decided to become a comedian. So almost every night he goes around different clubs in Manhattan and the environments and doing comedy acts. He was in Edinburgh, Scotland for a month this summer, some huge comedy festival.
Fringe, I think it's called, the Fringe.
I'm not sure, I'll have to look that up. But anyway, he's decided he's going on a world tour, and we're his first stop, I believe. So we're gonna get in while before we have to pay huge amounts of money to buy tickets to see his amazing act, and so he combines science and comedy. So his act is called Stand Up Science. So anybody who has an interest in those areas might be interested to come. And we're going to have food, and it's going to be a great time. We've also invited the congregation in Lowell to join us for that, so hopefully they'll be here as well. And I also wanted to thank Ellen for sponsoring the Oneg this evening. And anything else? I think that's it. All right. So, by the way, there's no religious school this weekend. On Monday, we're going to have our next confirmation class led by Ben. And at the end of confirmation class, we're going to be taking all the food from the High Holiday Food Drive and bringing it to the Burlington Food Pantry. So if you haven't brought in food yet for our High Holiday Food Drive, you've got till Monday to do that. And finally, I think we're also taking down the sukkah Sunday morning. Right?
Finally, yeah. Mhm, yeah. There was a reason why we couldn't do it last Sunday. I don't know if it was the weather or something, but yeah. Yep.
Okay. Anyway, lots happening here. So Richard, why don't you come on up and lead us on the Kiddush on page 122. Please rise in body or spirit. I have it right here.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadisho b'yahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu bacharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim Shabbat kodshecha v'yahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu, Baruch Ata Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Thank you. And Ellen, why don't you come on up and hold the challah which you made specially for this occasion?
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise with song together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated.
And please join in a closing song. I'd like to sing the traditional version of Al Shlosha Devarim, words on page 642. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam, Omein. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam, Omein. Al HaTorah, B'yah HaAvodah, B'yah Gemilut Chasadim. Al HaTorah, B'yah HaAvodah, B'yah Gemilut Chasadim. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam, Omein. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam, Omein.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.